What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic here. Mr. Ryan Muckenhirn joining me once again. Ryan, we're pretty, you and I are fairly simple creatures. You know?
Yep.
We like to hunt, shoot guns, fish. I like to fish. You're not much of an angler.
Mark, the last real time I went fishing, it was with you.
That was like 4 years ago.
That was like 6 years ago.
And you didn't even fish. You just paddled me around driving Mr. Daisy.
Golly, was that a wonderful day.
It was delightful.
We put maple syrup in our coffee that morning.
We ate sauger and ramps for breakfast.
Yep.
Drank too much coffee. Yeah, lovely. That's not what we're talking about today, though. We're talking about a new addition, a new feature on our website.
Yeah.
Which is, that's technology and stuff.
Yeah.
This is Optics Finder, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
You spend a good portion of your day talking to folks about optics, helping them make a selection. This is a tool that, some folks may find extremely useful to help make their selection.
In fact.
Who's this for?
Well, that's a great question. I would say if you're an optics expert, you know what you like and you know where you're shopping for, or what you're shopping for, rather. It's probably not the tool for you. But if you're new to any of the categories listed, rifle scopes, red dots, binoculars, spotting scopes, or rangefinders, and you go to our website, there's a lot of options. We have something for everybody. And it can be daunting and confusing to kind of parse through the nuances and differences. And if you were to call or email or stop in or chat in, we're going to, what we like to call 80-20 the situation, kind of figure out where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing with it, and what you're looking to invest, and get you to effectively what we've curated in these categories as like a good, better, best situation.
Have you been replaced? Is this the AI everybody's talking about, Ryan?
This isn't it, Mark. This isn't it.
I would certainly hope not.
I think this is a great tool, though, for that new shooter, new hunter, new observer, who is looking to get through the weeds, if you will, and get to the real garden.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tool a person can use to narrow down their selection. Like you said, we have a ton of options. They're all there for myriad reasons.
Yes.
Right? But this is going to help you narrow it down. Let's dive into something here. Why don't you,
Mark,
give her a click, Ryan?
I'm going to be your mouse.
You're driving.
Yes. You are going to take the role of the new shopper.
Oh gosh. All right. I'm looking for a rifle scope.
Okay, we're gonna check out. We've got the rifle scopes tab here. Great picture, LHT featured.
Yeah,
our good buddy, the transient outdoorsman on front,
Mr. Dan himself.
We're gonna click it. Here we are. Mark, are you hunting or are you target shooting?
Oh, you know what, Ryan? Yeah, hunting. I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, I guess I had thought about it. But hunting, yeah.
Very well. Let me ask you, Mark. What geographical region or landscape will you be in? I'm going to list for those not watching these options here. So we have big woods and dense timber. So we're thinking kind of closer range shooting. How about open fields and rolling hills? This is what Mark and I hunt a fair bit here in south central Wisconsin. We've got some ag land. We do have field edges, and we've got some bigger expanses, but we're not talking long range yet. High country. So this would be, you think above tree line or in some of those really big spaces that don't even have trees, or that open country, that antelope sage flat land. Where are you at, Mark?
I mean, boy, this is hard for me. I like all these places.
But you got to pick one.
You know, Ryan, so I'm going to go with the high country, but mostly because I'm seeing mid to long range.
Sure.
And I know my shots could be at 50 yards, or they could be at 500 yards or 600 yards.
We're clicking this. Oh my gosh, it's that simple. Filters it right down. So let's unpack this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You get a pretty simple optics finder. It was like 4 clicks, and boom, you've got 3 options on the table. As I had mentioned earlier, these are ranked good, better, best, and we're talking about optical qualities, mechanical qualities, and then of course price point as well.
Some features.
Yeah. Yep. So you'll see as you work through this tool, or even if you don't, if you just move into the region that you're going to be hunting or shooting or birding or observing, it's going to drive the selection to what we feel is a very appropriate choice from like a magnification standpoint and a feature set standpoint. So for the high country hunt that you picked, your good option is the Diamondback 4-12 by 40. This is a long time staple in our line. 4-12 is not a low magnification, nor is it a very high magnification. That sweet middle spot. 12x is plenty of mag for that 400 or 500, maybe even 600 yard shot. And a very, very simple solution, right? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of frills on a Diamondback.
Cap turrets, BDC reticle. Like when you talk about some of those further shots, you might, use that reticle.
Sure. Going into the better category, we move up in the hierarchy of optics in our line, and we go to the Viper HD 3-15. We're incorporating a lift to unlock turret, zero stop mechanism in there. Doubling down on the optical qualities of that. You get a little bit more information in the reticle as well. This is a very appropriate optic for all of the things aforementioned. And then at the best, here we are, the no holds barred approach. Top tier optical quality, top tier accoutrement and mechanical fit, finish, etc. The Razor HD LHT 3-15, one of your personal favorites, Mark. Now, all that being said, what do you want to know about here, Mark? Here you've been narrowed down, so to speak, 3 great options. What's compelling? What do you feel is going to be the most useful for you?
Because I'm looking to extend my effective range in the field, and I'm going to put myself in the shoes of not me, right? Like, I think I'm going to get into this dialing game. I think I want to be able to dial my elevation correction at some of these longer distances. I'm going to click on the Viper HD and the Razor HD LHT because at this point, I want to see what the price differential is.
Sure.
I'm seeing that both these scopes look like they would suit my needs.
Yep.
And there we go.
So right away, if you click on the view the product.
This is an MSRP price, by the way, because it's on our website.
You're going to find it for less at your local retailer. It'll bring you to the landing page of the product. You can unpack a little bit of the details on this. Now, I can't seem to scroll down on this screen. There we are. You can get into the deep dive of feature set and specifications and all those things there. But Mark wanted to look at a couple of different scopes.
So I want to look at that, and now let's look at the LHT.
Yeah, we'll go back to the Optics Finder page, and then we'll scroll down again. And there's even a Compare Now tool down here on the bottom.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So check this out. You can look at some of those hard specs, and white papers aren't everything. When you start looking at specs, they can be kind of dry and boring to unpack and understand. But we've got these very helpful tooltips on some of the definitions that we have here. If this is a term you're unfamiliar with, or if this is something that you've never seen before and you need to know more about, or maybe you've just been not quite positive on the definition. Magnification. Of course, for me, it's pretty obvious what that is. We're going to talk about magnification range low to high, what it's going to show you and do for you as a shooter and a hunter. And you're going to see those specs side by side so that you can dig into a little bit of those differences a bit more. So a couple things that I think are pretty neat. If you were in Mark's position here and you were buying and you were looking at, a feature that Mark had described, he wanted the ability to dial a turret. Okay. So right away, we can say, we've got a dialable turret because you can see it in the picture. We have a zero stop system in there, which is very important, I think, if you're getting into this. If we want to unpack field of view, which is how wide your image is, we're going to list those figures on the page there so you can see that. We'll show you whether it has illumination. We'll talk about the reticle style. And again, if you want to see those in even greater detail, you hit that landing page of the product. And we'll go over the other hard specs too, like weight, length, etc. And kind of drive you towards a better overall picture of what that product is and how it compares to the other two on either side of it. And that's Optics Finder. It's really quite easy.
I mean, when you boil it down, it is darn simple. And I really do like this compare feature because I was like, one of the questions in my mind, I didn't know off the top of my head. I'm like, what is the weight differential between the 3 to 15 Viper HT and the LHT? And
Mark, you're going to save yourself almost 3 ounces by going to the Razor LHT.
You know how I like to save weight.
Yeah. If you're putting a big precedence on that, that's a handy thing to see up front. We'll scroll up to the top again here, and I'll show you something. So let's say you goofed up, and you're actually not going to be hunting in high country. You're going to be shooting probably in the open fields and rolling hills. We can go all the way back to the beginning. We can go through that. Oh, yeah. Here we go, open fields and rolling hills. And we'll see more information there. Now, you'll notice that Viper is still there.
Yep.
That means it's a very multi-role, multi-purpose optic. And again, when we were looking at this as we were building this configurator out, we thought, that thing plays well in that country just as well as it would in the high country, right?
I mean, we've talked about these scopes before, but the Viper HD 3 to 15 and the Razor HD LHT 3 to 15, both those scopes, you'll probably actually find them on just about any hunting page because it's like, you want to sit for whitetails in the tree? Great. You want to, shoot something at 5, 6, whatever, 100 yards? You can do that too.
Absolutely. And again, this is for somebody if you're really new to this and you really want to kind of get through the minutia and get to the nitty-gritty, this is for you. Again, if you're that power user and this is something that you've been doing for years or decades or more, you probably don't jump into this one too often. But it is a neat tool. It was fun to work on. It was a very fun project for us to kind of go through and explore what we felt were the best choices based on what our customer feedback has been and what we as users feel, the best product for the given task or location at hand is. And it's pretty neat.
It's cool. It's it could be your starting point and your finish point, right?
Sure.
But like you said, for, the newer hunter shooter who's trying to, boil some stuff down and start making their selection, it could just be a starting point.
Yep.
Where they look at that, they go, okay, yeah, I can see that. We still want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So if you do that, and none of this is designed to eliminate talking to the customer. Like I said, it could be just a starting point where you call Ryan and be like, hey, the Optics Finder suggested these 3 options. Can you kind of give me the nitty-gritty on each and the why behind them? And again, just further dive into what's going to be the best selection for them.
That's what I love about our techs here at the shop. Is we've run every optical system that we have. Whether we're testing it before it's released, whether we're testing it during its life cycle, whether a customer sends one in and wants us to test it, we have the opportunity to play with a lot of these. We've formed our own personal opinions and preferences that I think hold weight and merit. You and I have different preferences for general use rifle scopes. That doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong or right and I'm wrong. Right? Did I say that right? Yeah. Anyway.
Why do I didn't really follow, but I have a feeling I may have been wrong in both scenarios.
Right. What I'm saying is, it's a good suggestion if you want like Mark had said, the really deep details on the why behind a given optic for a given situation. Call us, email us, chat in, stop in. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it depends on a little bit what, like just taking that rifle scope example.
Yeah.
One person might go, no, I never intend on dialing my scope.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Go, you fit into this bucket.
Yep. We have a different solution.
And yeah, goes for all the categories: rifle scopes, red dots, binoculars, spotting scopes, rangefinders. You can compare them all.
Yeah.
I like it. Anything else?
No, it's pretty. This is one of the shorter 10-minute talks we've done in a while.
I know. I actually, before we started, I speculated that we might actually do a 10-minute talk. I think people would actually be disappointed though. Either that, or they're just like, oh man, yeah. I wish it was 10 minutes. Either way.
Yep.
All right. It's as simple as that.
Bingo bango.
Go on the Vortex website. If you're looking for an optic, like you said, and you're kind of just trying to narrow it down, that's a good way to do it. You want to narrow it down even further? Give us a shout. Hit us up on chat.
Yeah.
All the things.
We're here for you.
We'll help you find your optic one way or another. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.